Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Cognitive Tennis. It's another rainy Vancouver day, and I'm wearing this hoodie again. I swear I don't wear this hoodie that often. It's just happened. I don't know why. So this week I'm actually gonna skip the summary of the week because there wasn't too much going on, and all of the news on the ATP website was basically just a summary of the year. So I thought for this video I would actually go into a summary of my own. And I just wanted to talk about two of the greatest comebacks that the sport has ever seen. And I think you know which two comebacks I'm talking about. But before we talk about that, we gotta eat. This is actually my first time trying pho. I've never had it before. Pretty good. Shout out to my sister Arisha for picking this place. Okay then. So let's just talk about Roger. We all know he's had an amazing year. Australian Open, Miami, Indian Wells back-to-back. Then he goes on to win Halle right before Wimbledon. Then he wins Wimbledon without losing a set. And then he goes on to win the Swiss indoors. And then he beats Nadal in the Shanghai final. So in total, he's won 7 titles this year. He's also had an amazing record this year, 52-5. But I think the real highlight of the year for Roger was right at the beginning of the year by winning the Australian Open. He actually ended up beating 4 of the top 10 players, and 3 of them, against Nishikori, Wawrinka, and Nadal, all went 5 sets. And to win those matches at the age of 35, having taken 6 months off, is absolutely ridiculous. Not only that, he was actually a break down against Nadal in the 5th set, Nadal being the greatest grinder of all time, and he managed to turn that around and break Nadal twice to win that set 6-3 and take the title. Roger played it smart by not playing the clay court season, and he came back strong in the grass court season, winning Halle and then winning Wimbledon without losing a set. To top it off, at the end of the year, he got 3 awards: the Stefan Edberg Sportsmanship Award, the Fans Favorite Award, and lastly the Comeback Player of the Year. And he became the oldest year-end number 2 ranked player in history. That's a pretty amazing season, even by Roger's standards. I think the biggest difference for Roger this year, and the thing that he improved the most, was his backhand. His backhand this year was absolutely outstanding, and we saw that early this year, right off the bat from the Australian Open. Roger was hammering his backhand like we've never seen him before. Instead of just slicing returns, we saw him hitting over his backhand so much more, and it was so much more effective on the hard courts. And now let's talk about the other greatest comeback in tennis history. And I think what makes Nadal's comeback so special is that he's been struggling so much in the last few years. Before 2017, he hadn't even been to a major final since he won the Roland Garros in 2014. But as we all know, Nadal is one of the most determined, relentless players on tour. After a devastating loss to Roger at the Australian Open at the beginning of the year, Nadal went on to absolutely rip up the clay court season, having only a single loss to Dominic Thiem. He won his 10th Monte Carlo and then went on to win his 10th Barcelona, as well as the Madrid title, as well as his 10th French Open title. Just think about how crazy that is. 10 of the same title. And to do it at 3 different places, including a major. It's just unheard of in tennis history. Nadal made a total of 10 finals for the year. 3 of his 4 finals losses were to Roger Federer. And to top it all off, he ended the year ranked world number 1 for the 4th time in his career. So now that we've done a quick recap of both seasons, I just wanted to highlight some of the important differences in each of their seasons. Firstly, although Nadal did end the year number 1, Federer actually had less losses this season and a better record overall. He only lost 5 matches as opposed to Nadal's 11 matches. However, Nadal was the more consistent player on tour. He made 10 finals and played many more tournaments than Roger did. One thing that I think is really important to highlight this season, and I know it's not all about the head-to-head. In this particular case, I think it's especially important because of how much Roger has struggled in the past playing Nadal and how much trouble he's had with Nadal getting high to his backhand. Roger managed to actually turn that completely around. He was able to step into those high balls and take them earlier and actually put pressure on Nadal and rush Nadal off of that backhand side. He was hitting with pace, usually to big targets. He gave Nadal no time to get set and actually work the point. And as we all know, up until now, that pattern of Nadal going high to Federer's backhand has been working so well for him. A strategy that had worked for so long for Nadal was finally suddenly just not working anymore. And I feel that Nadal still hasn't got an answer for what Federer's come up with this season. We saw even in Shanghai towards the end of the year in the finals, we saw Nadal trying to mix it up a little bit, but he still stayed true to that high to the backhand shot. And again, Roger was able to flatten it out and really take time away from Nadal. So in this particular case, I do feel like the head-to-head is very relevant. But of course, this video is about who had an overall better season. So let's step back and talk about their overall seasons. Both had amazing comebacks after taking injury time off. Both won 2 majors this year and multiple Masters 1000 titles. Nadal, in my opinion, was the more consistent player. But the way Federer came back this season and completely stunning the world at the age of 35, winning the Australian Open against his longtime rival, who he's had a losing record against, and managed to completely change that head-to-head, sweeping it 4-0. That for me was something really special. But Nadal had arguably his best hardcourt season ever, and he proved that towards the end of the year, winning in Beijing and the US Open. And to end the year as the oldest #1 in history, I think that's a very special thing as well. So really, in the end, it's hard to definitively say who had a better season. They both had absolutely amazing seasons considering their age and the amount of time they took off at the end of 2016. And as much as a Federer fan as I am, I can't definitively give the win to Roger for this season. I think they both had an absolutely amazing season. All I can say is, as a Federer fan, for me, seeing him come back at that age and do what he has done this year, that to me is something really special. And that moment when he won the Australian Open, that's something I'll remember for the rest of my life. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to check out my Twitter and blog posts in the description below. Make sure to subscribe if you like these videos. Be sure to drop a comment to say whether you like this video, whether you like this kind of style better, whether you like the vlog style. And be sure to stay tuned for another video next Tuesday. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.